Hey, what's up guys, we're back in another video. Today we have another coaster announcement. I was definitely waiting for this one. It's been a couple days since we got a coaster announcement. Technically we got one yesterday, but there wasn't enough information for really to make a real video on it. I may still make a video on the art engineering kitty coaster going to Carowinds, I'm not sure. But today it's about AlpenFury, which sounds actually like a pretty interesting name. And by the layout that I like, from what I've seen, it looks like it's gonna be a pretty decent ride. I don't think it's gonna be the best in the park. I don't think it's gonna be like number 2 in the park either. I think it's gonna be like maybe 3 or 4 in the park. Probably most likely 3. This layout looks pretty fun. It looks like it has a lot of floaty and whippy moments. So like a lot of flow of like stalls and stuff like that, but then also like a bunch of like whip out of turns. The turns don't really look like they do much, but the whip out of the turns look like they have a pretty good feeling. And this is gonna be a premiere coaster, so that's a very interesting. That is very interesting. I saw this coming. I saw a video that people were talking about the coaster degenerates, I would like to call them, that basically spend their entire time trying to find what manufacturer coasters are, and they found from the size of the support said it was going to be a Premier or Intamin or Zamperla, and I'm like, okay, I'll trust you because you clearly have a little bit of knowledge on that, but this coaster looks really, really interesting. I think it's going to be a really good fit for the park. It's the only, I'm pretty sure, I'm looking at their park right now. It looks like it's the only, I'm pretty sure it's the only launch coaster. I'm actually, besides, Backlot. And was this also a premier ride coaster? But that's very interesting. It's like, for 2 reasons. First of all, like another launch coaster at the park, really good. It's something that they needed. I'm pretty sure basically every single one of those concept ideas, besides the wooden GCI, was a launch coaster. Even the inverted coaster, I'm pretty sure, from that concept, the concept art that they came out a year ago, maybe a year ago. But this is actually very interesting because they went with Premier, which maybe not too interesting for the Six Flags chain, but for the Cedar Fair chain, that is actually very interesting because like Six Flags, they've worked with Premier a good amount recently. They well, not really even recently. Like before things went to hell, before COVID, they worked with them for West Coast Racers. A lot of the they put a couple of the Premier Skyrocket 2s, but the Cedar Fair chain, which I do want to preface whenever people say, oh, that it's an all new game for new companies that don't really work with Cedar Fair or don't work with Six Flags. Cedar Fair still has a controlling percentage of of the new Six Flags chain, so they can make a little more decision than Six Flags. So if every Cedar Fair said, executive basically said no Intamin, then it would basically still mean no Intamin. I'm sure that's not what's actually going to happen, but Cedar Fair hasn't worked with Premier at all. Like, they've inherited a couple Premier coasters, and that makes them having to work with Premier with new trains, maintenance and stuff like that. But it's a new game for Premier because if this goes well, and works, unlike maybe a couple 2 coasters that I'm thinking about, for one for Kennywood and one for Cedar Point, this could be a really good relationship for Premier and the new Six Flags chain, and it could be a possibility where it could be in a place where it's like, oh, maybe we work with them over Intamin or something like that. Because I don't know how much the Cedar Fair train is going to be open to working with Intamin. It may still be a possibility, but I think they would more focus on a smaller scale coaster. And even though all these coasters that are already here, they were in planning way before the like all the coasters that we have announced were happening way before the merger. And what happens is, I saw a comment in one of my videos, once the Six Flags merger happened, like once it got announced, that was like, oh, looks like the Rapteria, which is also Raptura, which I just realized, and I mispronounced it in the entire video, but when that was leaked, by, my friend, and I made a video on it, and a bunch of the other coaster community made on it. This guy was like, oh, looks like it got canceled because it's a Six Flags merger, and that's not necessarily true, and now we can see back, like, it's definitely not true, because it's a merge. First of all, it's a merger, it's not a buyout, and second of all, most of these contracts aren't with the company. It's not with Cedar Fair. It's with the park. So what happens is, and you can get this from the Dorney Park dive coaster, Iron Menace videos and stuff like that. Basically, what happened was that the park found the coaster that they wanted, and then they pitched it to Cedar Fair, and then Cedar Fair gave the approval and gave them the funding for the coaster. So the contract was with the park, not with Cedar Fair. But this is very interesting for the future of Premier, and this coaster looks like it's gonna be a pretty good coaster for Canada's Wonderland. It's definitely not gonna be the best. I still think like Leviathan will be better. But like we can always see. And I did see somebody comment, oh, it looks like the mountain's ruined, but it's like, okay, whatever. It's still, it's a launch coaster, dude. It's a coaster. And they already put a coaster in there. But that's the end of the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you have any extra opinions and comments you want to put down in the comments area, I'll make sure to reply to most of them. I'll reply to the ones that I'll reply to all of them, but once they get to the replies, I don't get notifications for those, so sometimes I forget to look at those. But hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you want to see any extra coaster announcement reactions from either the future, if you're watching this in a couple, like not at the moment when it's getting posted, or from the past, I do have a playlist of all of those, and you can go check that on my channel. Also, earlier in the video, there was probably also a card for it. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!